Hey buddies, till yesterday we were discussing about MySQL, RDBMS, DBMS, why do we need it, and what are the good practices and what are the commands that are involved in DDL, that is data definition language. And that DDL commands are not yet finished. We still have many more commands. But before that, first of all, you have to understand there is a object called table in a RDBMS database, basically. So what is a table actually? Table is nothing but imagine this is a table which contains columns and rows. Okay. So this is nothing but a table. Here you'll be having a column name. For example, column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4. And here inside it, you'll be having the data related to those particular columns. For example, roll number 1, 2, 3, and name something, Naresh, Vijay, Robin, and so on. So this is nothing but a table. The same thing, we also have a table in our databases. For that, we have a kind of syntax. What is that syntax? Syntax. The syntax is nothing but it's a combination of two or three keywords. Create is a keyword and table, you have to pass the table name, or I can write this way. You have to pass the table name. That's why I'm highlighting it with a different color. Now, you need to define the columns. Column 1 and its data type. Column 2 and its data type. Similarly, column 3 and its data type. Then finally, you have to close the bracket. Finally, we have to close the bracket and put semicolon. So this is the syntax for creating a table. But how to do this in MySQL Workbench? Let me show you. So let me fix my mic so that I can use my two hands to write a query. Okay. Okay. Now, here I'm just separating this thing. Now I'm keeping a heading that is creating a table, new table. We can increase or decrease the length of the pens here. That is this output pen and the other one. So whatever we want, we can do it. Similarly, I just want to minimize this thing and maximize the space for writing my query. Okay. Now I want to create a new table. How can we do it? By using the combination of keywords, that is create table. These two are the keywords for creating a new table. And here we have to pass the table name. What is our table name? We can pass the customers. We want to create a customers table. And here you have to open the bracket. Here you can open, or in the same line itself, here also you can open. But for me, writing query is not at all a problem, but how perfectly we have to write. That's what I really want to focus on. So that's why, for the sake of uh, clarity, I'm just writing a writing these braces in a separate line. After, when you write a bracket in the next line, you just type the column one. What is the column one name? In my customers table, I want to pass the customer ID, customer underscore ID. And then we have to give the data type. When you say customer ID, ID is nothing but a number, right? So the data type would be int. And also, inside the bracket, you can mention the integer length. I mean, the customer ID is of what length? Like, is it a 25 digit number or a 30 digit number? That you can easily mention it over here. But it is not a mandatory one, so I'm not mentioning it here. It's up to you whether you want to mention this number, nothing but constraint. This is a constraint. You want to mention it here or not? That's up to you. Sorry, that's the length actually. So, okay. And I want to create another column with the name first name. And first name, when you say first name, it is of text. So for the text, we can use the data type varchar and we can pass the length. Now this is a mandatory for this characteristic columns. So I'm passing 25. It's up to you whether what number you want to pass. It's totally up to you. You can pass 250 or 35, 45 or 20, 19, whatever you want. I'm just using this 25. And in the next line, I want to create another column that is last underscore name. Since it's a character, I'm using the varchar and 25 is the length that I want to pass. After that, I also want to create another column that is country. And country is also a text column. So I'm using varchar and I'm passing 25 as the size of it. Now, in the next line, I want to close this bracket since all the columns are done. Now I want to conclude this query with a semicolon. Now if I press Control Enter to execute this query, see what happens. What happens? It is throwing an error that is no database selected. Yes, the query is absolutely perfect, but it always throws an error because we have created a table, but in which database? That what we have to, that's what we have to define it even before creating a table. So remember this thing, this is very, very important. So you can use this keyword called use. Use customers, sorry. Uh, First of all, let's have a look at how many databases do we have. So I'm pressing this show databases. Now we have this information schema, Naruto, MySQL, performance schema. That's it. So we don't have any other database. Let's create another, let's create a new database. Create database. Let me give a database name as sample or customer DB. Customer database. Now I'm creating a customer DB. See the result here. It has finally created. Now if I use this particular DB, first we have to check whether this particular database is created or not. So I'm pressing this show databases. Now if I press this, I have got this result as customer database, which is the database name which I have created few seconds ago. Now I want to use this database before proceeding for creating a table. So I'm using use customer database. Now I'm pressing Control Enter. Now it has finally got executed. Now this time I can place my cursor anywhere in all of these lines and press Control Enter. Now this time it has got executed. And finally, if you want to have a look at this particular table, you can easily write a query like show tables. So in our database that is customers, I mean, in our database that is customer database, in this database, we have only one single table that is with the name customers. That is what we have created here. If you want to look for all the columns in a table that is customers, you can use this describe describe and you can pass the table name. What is the table name? That is customers. You can press Control Enter. See here, whatever we have created as the columns and as the data types, entire thing will be shown here in the output. That is customer ID is my column. Int is the data type of this particular column. And this is the constraints. So here it is showing null under the null column. Here it is showing as S. In the sense, this particular column that is customer ID will surely allow null values. Why? Because we haven't, in our entire query, we haven't set any constraint here. So automatically, customer ID will usually allow for null values. Same goes with the second and third and fourth column as well. First name, last name, country. These are all the columns, and these are all the types of those columns, data types. And all these columns are actually allowing null values. So if we don't want to allow null values into our uh, table, then what we can do is we can pass a constraint here. For example, customer ID int space, I'm passing not null. Also, if you want to have a restriction over here, you can also pass here not null. Also, you can apply the same for here as well. Also here. But if you want to execute it, it won't get executed because we already have a uh, table called customers. So if you want to change this, this is not the right way. So what I can do is I'm just undoing everything. Now, if you want to do some modifications, you can do this way. That is, we have a separate commands called alter. So using this command, you can do whatever modifications you want. That is alter. So how to do that? In the alter, we have some 3 to 4 categories. First, I would like to explain you all those categories and then I will be explaining you the hands-on part of it. Okay. Okay. So here we have a command called alter. Now under this alter, we have few categories. The first one is add. Second one, drop. The third one, modify. And the fourth one, change. So these are all the commands that we have in alter. So now I'm going to explain each of these commands here, and then I'll be explaining all those commands hands-on as well. Okay, so let's have a look at change command first. Okay, so first you can look at this way, that is change. So how are we going to use this change command? So what does this change command first of all does? The change command is very much useful to change the name of a column. So for changing the name of a column, we use this command called alter and change. Okay. And the second usage is with change, we can change the data type of a column. So if you want to change the data type of a column, you can do that with change command as well. And if you want to change the, can change constraints. Constraints of a column. So with the help of this change command, we can do all these things. And what about the syntax of it? The syntax is nothing but first, if you want to use the change, you definitely have to use this alter table keywords. And you have to pass the table name. Okay, I'm just keeping it in quotes, but no need. No need of quotes. Okay. So alter table and you have to pass the table name. And then you have to use the change keyword. Now you have to pass the old column name. Old column name. And you can also pass the new column name. New column name. And you can add any constraint as well. Constraint. And you can pass, and you can press this semicolon. This is what the syntax is. This entire box is the syntax for this, for using this change. Okay, so now I'll be showing the same thing in the MySQL workbench. Okay. So how are we going to use this alter command? So it's very much simple. Now we have already created a table with the name customers. Now if you want to make some changes of the columns or something, some other thing, you can definitely use alter. Like see here, alter table. You have to pass the table name, that is customers, and you can pass the change keyword. You can pass it in the same line or you can also use the next line as well. I'm using the next line for the sake of clarity. Change and old name. I want to change uh, like first name. Instead of first name, I want to keep it full name. Okay. So I'm passing the old name first. First name, and I'm passing the full name. I'm also passing the data type of it 25. There is no change in the data type. Now, here you can also pass any constraint like not null or any other thing. It's up to you. And you can simply end the query by the semicolon like this. If you can execute this thing, automatically this particular first name will get changed to the full name. Okay. If you want to see this, just press Control Enter. Now the query has executed. Now if you want to see it, just call the describe customers. Press Control Enter. See here. Instead of first name, it was changed with the recent change full name, because here we are changing the first name with the full name. That's how we can use the alter command and particularly change keyword or clause, whatever you call. Now, if you want to change this full name with the first name itself, like I am just trying to provide the same example another time. Alter table customers. Now change keyword. Now I want to change this full name with the new name, that is first name. I just want to keep it as it is, so I'm just changing full name with the first name, and I'm passing the data type, that is varchar, and the size of the data type is 25. This is the length, and I'm particularly saying there should be no null values in it. Now I'm just ending the query with semicolon, and if I press Control Enter, then my query has already been executed. Now if I check using describe customers, see my full name has been changed to the first name. So that's how you can play with this thing. And let's go back to the concepts now. Okay. Now, after this change clause, we also have another clause, that is uh, modify. What is this? Modify. This change and modify, everything will comes under alter command itself. Under the alter command, we have multiple classes, change or modify and whatever it is. But now this is the time to focus on modify. What do you mean by this modify? The only thing it can do is it changes the data type and size of the data type. For example, we have a name, that is first name. This is the name of the column. Okay. Now under my column, I'll be having so and so customer names like uh, Benny, Stuart, Wade, Gail. So these are the names that we have. Okay. And while creating the table itself, if I have set this, for example, first name, and like while creating the table itself, I have passed the data type as first name. This is the column name, and varchar of varchar of 6. Okay. Here I have kept the size of the column as 6. In the sense, if I want to enter a particular name, that is McCallum, it won't be possible because it is already exceeding 6 letters. See here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It is of 8 letters, but here the size that I have passed while creating the table itself is 6. Now I want to edit this data type, that is varchar of 6. Instead of 6, I want to keep it 60, so that I don't have any problem while entering any biggest names. Most of the names won't be longer than 60, most of the common names. So I have to make a change in the data type size. For that, I can use this modify clause. And when you look at what is the syntax of this modify, the syntax for this modify is it always starts with the alter command, that is alter table, because we are going to change something in the table. What is the table name? That is the customers table. Okay, I'm just highlighting. We are going to make some changes in the customers table. Now, what is the change here that we are going to change? That is, we are using this modify keyword for what? What is the purpose? We are going to change the data type size. That is, first we have to mention the column name. That is, what column is it about? First name, first underscore name. Now, what we are actually going to change? First name's data type size. What is the data type of this? Varchar. And what is the size of it? Earlier it was 6. Now the changed or the proposed size would be of 60. Now I want to change this 6 with 60. And if you say it should not have any null values, not null, and you can end with semicolon, done, that's it. That's how you can use modify class in your queries. Now it's time to go back to the hands-on. So you want to use this modify class. Now this is how I use. Uh, I have to use this alter table command, and I have to specify what is the table name that I'm going to uh, uh, make some changes. That is the customers table. And now I want to use this modify clause for what column I have to make the change. I want to make the change for this first name. So I'm passing that column name, that is first name. And exactly in this first name, what is the change that you want to make? The change is here we have a data type called varchar. Pass that. For the varchar, earlier it was the size of 25. Now I want to make it some 30. Close the brackets and keep the semicolon. Now if you press Control Enter, it will be executed. See, the query has been executed. Now if you want to check, that is the describe customers. See, now the first name has been changed with the updated size of 30. Earlier it was 25. Now it has been changed with the new size of 30. That's how we can easily change the size of the data type. Okay. So this is about the modify. Now, if you ask me, there are many other commands as well that we have to cover in this video itself. The other command that I would like to discuss about add. This is a command add. So this add, or sorry, this is a clause or this is a keyword, you can call it as add, which comes under the alter command itself. Okay. So if you want to add a new column, so for example, you want to add a new column to an existing table, then you can use this particular command, that is add, combining with the alter table command as well. For example, See, what is the syntax of it? The syntax is nothing but alter table. You have to mention the table name here, and then you have to mention the keyword. What is the keyword that we want to use? That is add. What are we going to do? We are going to create a new column. Okay, so you mention this column. And what is the name of the column that you have to create? Nothing but uh, salary. You can say. You want to introduce a new column with the name salary. And you can end with semicolon. Okay. Now, you can also do this thing. For example, if you want to use this add in this way, like alter table, you are mentioning the table name here, and you are going to use the keyword that is add. Add. After that, you want to mention the column name. Sorry, you don't need to mention this particular add column. Simply, you can mention add salary. So, for example, I'm adding salary. After what? I want to add this column after another particular column. For example, after last name, I want to add this particular column. So after, use the keyword after, and now this is the keyword after. After using it, you can mention the column name that you want to add after it. For example, after the column that is the last name, I want to add a new column that is the salary. Okay. Now I'm going to show you how to do this hands-on. So I'm going to show you the keyword add, how to use it. Okay. So this add and modify and change, everything comes under alter table itself. So if you want to use this add keyword, you must use alter table command itself. After alter table, you must mention what is the table that you want to make changes. So I want to make changes in customers. Now I want to use the keyword add. Okay. After add, what do you want to do? You have to uh, add salary column. Okay. After salary, what is the data type of it? Salary is not of varchar because salary is a float. So you can directly mention float over here. And after that, you can simply say it should not be null. Now you can press this semicolon and you can press the control enter to see the result. See, I have pressed the control enter. Now the query has been executed. If you can press describe uh, customers table. Now our new column salary has been added. Just have a look at it. See here, the last column. Earlier, there were only four columns. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Till country we have created. But the salary column, which was of float data type, and it won't allow any null values. That is what we have done here. Okay. Now I'm going to show you how to add any column after a particular column. For example, see here, I have customer ID. Okay. After that, I want to add another column in between customer ID and first name. That is employee type. Okay, or customer type I want to add. For example, see, alter table, which table that we want to alter, that is customers. Now we are going to use add keyword. Now what is the column that we want to add? That is the date of or customer type. Customer type is the new column that we want to add, and you have to specify the type of the column. What is the type of this? Varchar. Customer type is nothing but varchar. So you have to mention this varchar is of 25 size. Now, but you want to do this after which column? You can mention with after keyword. After I want to create this column right after this customer ID column. So I'm mentioning customer ID column. So you can just end the query with semicolon. Now, if you can execute this thing, what happens? Just check here. Instead of writing the describe customers again and again, you can simply go here and you can press Control Enter. Then automatically, see, you can easily see that in between customer ID and first name, there was a new column which was inserted just now. That is the customer type, which is of varchar 25, and it is actually allowing null values because here we didn't specify any constraints of null values. So that's why it should allow null values. So this is of uh, add keyword. Now we are going to discuss about another keyword, that is the drop. So what do you mean by this drop? So if you want to drop a particular column, you want to drop a particular column from a table, then you can surely use this drop keyword. And what is the syntax of it? Syntax is pretty much simple. That is, all these clauses or keywords comes under alter table commands itself. Alter table. Now you have to mention the table name here. After mentioning the table name, you can use this keyword, that is drop. Now you can mention the column here and which column that you want to drop. For example, I want to drop customer type. Customer type is the column that I have created just now. I want to drop it. I don't want to uh, like be it in my table. So this alter table is the keyword. Table name is the customized one. So depending upon your custom table name, you can put it here. And drop is the fixed keyword. Column is also a keyword. And customer type is a column name. Whatever the column name is available in your data, you just mention it over here. Okay. So this is what it. With the help of this thing, you can easily drop a column from the from your table. I'm going to show you this thing hands on. Now I'm going to discuss about drop. So if you want to use this drop, you have to use this alter table and you have to mention the which table that you want to make change, that is customers. Now I want to use this drop keyword and you have to mention this column. What is the column name that you want to drop? I want to drop this particular column, that is customer type. So I'm passing this customer type over here and I'm just ending the query with semicolon. If you press Control Enter, automatically it has got executed. This is the one that has been executed. Now you can check out whether it has been really dropped or not. Describe customers. Control enter. Now see here. After customer ID, earlier there was a column called customer type. Now it was gone because we have dropped just now. See, with this query, we have finally dropped this particular column, that is customer type. Okay. Now let's go back to the theoretical concepts. We have another command, that is drop table. But what is the difference between drop keyword and drop table keyword? The only difference between these two is the earlier drop keyword is used to drop a column, but this drop table is used to drop an entire table. Okay, it is used to drop an entire table from the database. So that is the only difference. And we also have uh, another keyword called truncate. Truncate table. What do you mean by this truncate table? When you say truncate table, this is going to drop the data in a table, but the structure of the table won't be disturbed. The structure would remain same, but the data inside the table will definitely get dropped. That's what it is. Structure remains same. I'm just mentioning it over here. Structure remains same. Okay, so now I'm going to explain all these things. Earlier I have explained this thing. Just now I have shown you how to use a drop. Now I'm going to show you this, how to use this drop table and how to use this truncate table. Let's go back to the hands-on. Now we are going to use this drop table command. So how to use this drop table command? Nothing but drop table. It is very, very important to focus it here, because when you say drop table, we are going to completely delete the table permanently from our database. So this is very, very important. Okay. So it's very, very important. See, we have created the table that is customers here. I'm going to drop this thing, drop table customers. If I click this thing, our entire table will get dropped. You want to see. But before that, I just want to make sure, show tables, control enter. Now, how many tables are there? Customer is the table that we already have. Now, after dropping, if I press the show tables again, I would be seeing none. See, control enter. Now, the customers table has been dropped. Now, if I press this show tables, I won't be seeing anything, because the single table that was exist before, it was dropped. So there was none. That is what it is. Now I have explained about truncate table, which is this thing, that is truncate table. If you want me to explain this truncate table, there should be something in our table. For example, um, so okay, what I have to do is I am going above here and I'm creating this uh, create table customers again, because I just want to bring this table back again. Now see here, if I press describe customers, my entire table has come right now. Now if you want to see what is there in our table, that is select star from customers column. Now see here, we have the column names, customer ID, first name, last name, country, but with zero data in it. We don't have any data in this particular columns. So if you want me to show how to truncate this thing, I can't show it right away. I can only show it in the next video, because in the next video, I'll be loading our table with the uh, hell lot of data in it. Then only I'll be able to show you how to use this truncate table. 1 second. I think my charge. Okay, so now I'll be showing you another command called rename. So what is this rename command here? So rename is very much useful if you want to uh, rename any table to a new table. For example, I have a table. The table name is customers, and I want to rename this table to a new name, that is customer underscore information. This is the new table name that I want to change. Earlier, by mistakenly, I have created a table with the name customers. Now I have realized my mistake. Now I want to rename it. So how to do that? Using this rename command, we can do it. What is the syntax of it? The syntax of it is simple. Rename table. Now here you want to pass the table name. So, rename table name here. After that, use the keyword to. So this is the old table name, and we want to change it to the new table name. New table name. And you can just press this semicolon. That's how you end the query. So I'm going to show you this command hands-on. Now we have this table, show tables. We have the table that is customers. I want to rename this particular table customers with the name customer information. So how am I going to do it? Rename table. What is our table name? Customers to. What is the new name that you want to name it for your table? Customer information, semicolon. Control enter. Now if you press this show tables, see, it has been changed to the customer information. That's all about rename clause. In the next video, I'll be talking about some of the other commands that are involved in this MySQL, like mostly about DML, data manipulation language. So I'll be explaining about all these things along with this, how to truncate data in a table. I know that I have left this particular uh, command, that is truncate, because still we have created the tables, but it was not loaded with the information in it. So if we want to truncate the table, first of all, we have to load the information into the table. Then only we'll be able to truncate the table. So for that purpose, I have postponed it. And in the next video, I'll be showing it to you. Thank you.